Hello students, and welcome back to class. In this video, we're going to talk about a new number and a new button on your calculator. Let me have you pause the video, go and get your calculator so that you can practice these and make sure that you know how your calculator works as we go. Of course, those of you who are using your cell phone as a calculator and also watching this video on your cell phone, you have the extra challenge of bouncing back and forth between the two. All right, we're all familiar with the number pi. We like to think of pi as 3.14, although we know that pi is an irrational number. It's a decimal that does not terminate and does not repeat. Pi is useful when we do circle problems. It shows up in the formula for the area of a circle and the circumference of a circle. E is also an irrational number. It rounds off to 2.718. But since we're going to do money problems, if we round off to 2.718, our money problems will oftentimes be wrong by several cents. Money problems should never be wrong by several cents. We've got to be accurate to the nearest penny. So instead of using 2.718, we'll use the E button on our calculator, and that gives us a very, very accurate representation of the number E. Let's see if we can figure out how your calculator works. I'll show you several different calculators and how E works on that calculator. Figure out which calculator of mine works most like yours, and make sure that you can use these buttons to get the correct answers. Let's start with this calculator. What I'd like to find is e to the second power. Well, look at my calculator, and you see the ln button here. Above the ln, written very lightly, is e to the x. Since it's above the ln, that's the second function on that button. If I want to take e to the second power, I'll have to use my yellow second button and the e to the x button. If I want e to the second power, I type in 2 and then hit second e to the x. Second e to the x. Gives me e squared is 7.389056, on and on. Let's try the same problem on a different calculator and see if we get the same answer. This calculator is a little fancier. Here's my e to the x button above ln. Find the ln button. Above it is e to the x. Since it's above the ln button, that's the second function. I'll have to hit the second function along with ln. But on this calculator, you do it backwards. On the first calculator, you put the 2 in first, and then you hit second and e to the x. On this calculator, you hit second e to the x first, and then you type in the 2 and hit enter. There's the 7.38905, same as we got there. Funny how some calculators work frontwards and other calculators work backwards. On this calculator, you hit second, e to the x, then type in the 2. When we use this calculator, we typed in the 2 and then hit second, e to the x. Let's try this calculator to get e to the 5th. If I want e to the 5th, I'll type in the 5 and then second, e to the x. There it is, 148.4. This calculator works in the reverse order. Instead of typing in 5 and then e to the x, on this calculator, we'll type in e to the x. That's second, e to the x, and then the 5. Enter. There's the 148.4, same as we got here. Let's try it on an iPhone calculator. Let me turn the phone this way to get the big screen. Now what I want is e to the fifth. There's my e to the x button right there. But on an iPhone, you type in the 5 first. Type in 5 and then hit e to the x. It'll take e to the fifth power. E to the x, there it is. 148.413, 148.413. My cell phone is actually an Android. On an Android, you do it in the other order. You type in e to the x first, then you put in the 5. Let's try the iPhone to get e to the 0.24. E to the 0.24 on an iPhone, you would type in 0.24 and then hit e to the x, 1.2712. Let's check to see that we can get the same answer on this old Texas Instrument. I want e to the 0.24 is 1.271. On this calculator, the correct order is to type in the 0.24 and then hit e to the x. Now, e to the x is the second function over ln. I typed in 0.024 and go second e to the x. There's my 1.271. 1.271. Let's try e to the 0.06 on this calculator. E to the 0.06, I'll type in the 0.06 first. Here's 0.06, and then e to the x is second e to the x, 1.0618. Here's the same problem on an iPhone. E to the 0.06 is 1.0618. If I want e to the 0.06 on an iPhone, I type in 0.06 and then hit e to the x. There it is, 1.0618. 1.0618. Very good. Let's try e to the 0.30 on an iPhone. Clear. I want e to the 0.30. I'll type in 0.30 and then hit e to the x. Got it. 1.3498. Now remember, on an Android, you do it in the other order. Instead of typing in the 0.30 and hitting e to the x, you type in e to the x and then hit 0.30 and equals. Let's try this same problem on this Texas Instrument calculator. Our job is to find e to the 0.30. It should be 1.349. E to the 0.30. On this calculator, you hit the e to the x button first. The e to the x button is above natural log. It's the second function, e to the x. Second function, e to the x. Then type in 0.30. And there's my answer of 1.349. 1.349. Let's get e to the 0.96 on this calculator. E to the 0.96. I'll hit second e to the x and then type in 0.96. Enter. That's 2.6116. All right, go and practice with your calculator. I've given you a few problems to work on, and then meet me back here.